You can see how there was some of that swarm had laid on the ground, and they've all run up on that frame, reaching here. Figure out what branch they're on, dump their little butts on the ground. Give them a good firm shake. That's not very firm. Now I'll stand here and look for the queen. Got pretty good coverage on the frame now. I'm gonna reach in here and give it a little spin. Fill up the other side. Y'all keep following along. Okay, you can see a lot of them's climbed back up on that frame. It's covered on both sides. I spun it around. Now, I'm fixing to take this frame. I got this note box back here behind me. Hodgepodge of different sizes. And I'm gonna put that frame in the box and slide it up against that cluster. Y'all hang with me. Woo, I'm getting too portly for this. Okay, as you can see, some on the ground are starting to run in. They'll fan to their sisters. I'm gonna take prod that cluster, kind of brush them off on the ground where they'll follow their other sisters in the doors. Y'all keep hanging with me. This is one of Barbara's swarms, and she called me in a fit. I'm pretty sure it's a maiden flight too. I got some splits I made, and you get this time of year, they'll pick up a bunch of workers when they go out and mate. So y'all hang with me. Seriously, it ain't been 10 seconds since I knocked that cluster on the ground. They're already, the back of it, you can see movement moving this away already. And if I knock the queen down there, I'm gonna try to get over here and try to get eyes on it, see what I can find. But I do love swarm catching, y'all. Y'all get after it. I was gonna get the bipod out and do a time lapse where y'all could watch them running in like this. I figured they moving so hard, you'd be able to enjoy it like I am. I decided to grab me a chair and just watch this swarm walk in. Better than any TV show on right now, I promise you. I don't care if you do have 300,942 million channels. Ain't nothing on it worth watching compared to this. I mean, look at that. That's a miracle of God happening right out here next to the side of the road, y'all. It's beautiful. What'd you do today? What did you do today? Did you get up, or did you make excuses why you can't? I can't. Oh, I can't. You just don't understand. Oh, but I do. Oh, but I do. While I was losing my weight, I had a real bad opioid addiction. Blew out 9 discs in my back. Got hooked on painkillers real bad. And God delivered me from that. Just like He helped deliver me from the weight that I had gained to myself. I did that to myself. Didn't nobody do it to me. I did it to me. I bent my own elbow. Thank you very much. This culture, body affirmation, you know, just love who you are, however you are. No, man, you need to be healthy. You know, you need to have a exercise in your life and a good diet in your life. Get up and go get some sunshine. You wanna know why people's depressed? They lay up, play video games 16 hours a day. They own a computer, they own their telephones 16, 17 hours a day. You know, they ain't out experiencing God's creation like this. Like I said, this little miracle of God. When those last few get caught up here on the ground, I'm gonna slide that box over to the cluster and let them just walk off. Picking them up all at a time. I've been watching for the queen. I ain't gonna crawl in her to get her. It's too low growing for this old big boy, I tell you. I've lost a lot of weight, but I ain't lost that much. So y'all keep following along. Okay, so all the ground crew had pretty much got up on the face of this box. And I slid the box forward to where the rest of the cluster is touching the box. All them others have run inside. So the plan is try to get them to walk off that branch down into this box. Y'all keep following along. Gotta love these swarm catches. Break a few more off on the ground. You can see them in the swarm. I see some of them have their little pollen baskets are full of pollen. They ready to go feed somebody. See that right there, that little white dot on that one? Right in there. See that? My buddy Travis gets mad at me. We was working a colony the other day. After climbing the side of his mountain, he has his bloody beehives on. And I'm over there trying to recuperate and get some oxygen from like, yeah. I got like a month's worth of cardio in one climb, right? And I told him, I said, these are your hives. You work them, I'm gonna sit over here and recuperate. And I sat down 12, 14 feet away from him. Travis wears glasses. He's got bad eyesight. He's got this frame held out in front of him. I said, there she is. And I'm sitting on the ground, 15, 20 feet, about 15 feet away from him. And he says, how do you do that? Man, I don't know. It's just my eyes see them. I can't help it. It's a little miracle of God just to be able to sit and do this stuff. So I hope you're having as great of a day as I am. I bumped a few more off and knocked them on the ground. I moved the box around. It looked like they was climbing off the box and trying to climb up the branch, so I separated them a little bit. You got to kind of watch this stuff. Ain't no two of these ever going to be the same. Ain't no two swarms ever going to be the same. So it's just little tips and tricks you learn, moving your boxes around. By brushing them off on the ground like this, it kind of confuses the cluster, and you give them a place that smells like home, and they're more likely to run into it. My neighbor's just yelling at his goats. I would too if I owned goats. Do you know how to check to see if a fence is goat proof? Get a 5-gallon bucket up full of water. Fill it all the way to the top. Now some guys will use some organic apple cider vinegar. But it's not necessary. You put if you want to, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to a 5-gallon bucket to test your fence for goats. You take it and you sling that whole bucket, just toss it against the fence. And if any of that water goes through that fence, goats can go through that fence too. So you gotta pay attention to goats. One of the honoriest critters God ever made, I tell you what. He compared us to sheep. He compared those contrary to us as goats. So yeah, just think about what he's saying to you. Dear Lord, I love this. What are you doing today? Are you getting out chasing your dreams? That's what I'm doing. I dreamed of doing stuff like this 10 years ago. I was 650 pounds. This was just a daydream. Sitting there poking Twinkies in my mouth, ho-hos and yoo-hoos and water. What's that? That's what you take a bath in. Drink it? No, man. Hydrate with soda. And my health suffered extremely for it. And good Lord give me a second chance at life. I started eating right, exercising, getting out in the sunshine, doing stuff like this. Am I as fit as I could be? No. I know in my heart I could do better than I'm doing on my diet and stuff. But every day you got to get up and go after your dream. Ain't nobody gonna bring it to you served on a silver platter. That's what's wrong with the world now. Is there's a lot of these women out there who think guys supposed to go out and you're supposed to make this kind of income for me and I'm just the prize. No, honey, that ain't the way it works. God made women to be a help mate. Whatever your man decides to do, you need to be helping him become better at it. And in turn, he'll give you what you need: love and protection, shelter. You know, it's a teamwork. It ain't happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. No, that ain't what it is. See, that's too one-sided. It needs to be happy spouse, happy house. Everybody, including the kids, need to be happy up in that house, y'all. You got to think about your youngins too, right? I tell my sons all the time, the goal in life is to raise a whole generation of children that do not need therapy for their upbringing. That's the goal. So, anyway, let's keep following along after this swarm. I didn't mean to preach or nothing. My mom was just out here, and I was telling her something that I have learned from swarm chasing. See how they're separated? Part of that swarm's here, and part of it's still hanging in that branch. If that queen is in that cluster, then these right here will try to move back up to her. But if that queen is in the box or below it, this one will start dripping like water. It'll have clumps that start falling off the bottom of it where they're festooning. Well, the cluster's getting longer. That's just a little something to watch for, you know, when you're out chasing swarms. Sometimes you can't get the whole swarm in the box or back under a bush like this one is. And you just got to slide your equipment in there to work them. That's one way to know that your queen is, she may not be in the box. She may be on the face of the box. But if they start dripping like water, then pretty much she's below them. They love to climb up. They hate to climb down, and they'd rather fall in clumps when they're like this right here. And I'm trying to catch it so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. If you see them doing this, that means she's over here, not in that swarm. Just a little something I picked up. You know, I've been chasing after. Well, me and my dad did it too when I was a teenager, and of course doing it again now as often as I can. I wish it's somebody else's bees other than my mom's. You know, the ones I'm managing. Yeah, you can see some of them have pollen on their legs coming in and stuff. These little loop boxes are handy as a shirt pocket. Handy as a shirt pocket. So, I'll see if I can't get them dripping, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see that ball right there on the end? It's like they're trying to festoon down lower. They're trying to get some of the other girls to come down there and help them. When you start seeing them do that and they start dripping, they'll drip off in little clumps. Usually that means that queen is below them and they're trying to get down there to her. You can see how that cluster is getting longer. It may be nothing. It's just something I've noticed over the years, though. It's just something to look for. Let you know kind of where she's at. She could still possibly be on that branch, or she could possibly be in that box. I have no idea. Welcome to beekeeping. I have no idea. Welcome to beekeeping. But I'm trying to, like I said, I want to see that. I want to see that. You can see how that point is kind of wobbling on them. It's like water dripping off, or like honey fixed to glob off something. Yeah, when you see that, I'm pretty sure she's in that box already, from what I'm seeing. They love to go up. They hate to go down. Dear Lord, I love this stuff. Yeah, the points get a little longer, and you'll see 4 or 5 fall off at a time. But it'll be a big gob of them just drop here in just a minute, I believe. I say that and it goes up. It's crazy. This is the coolest thing in the world, man. You keep your goats, your sheep, chickens, Give me a box of bugs, man. Ugh. Little bitty point right there. They trying to stretch that swarm out where they can walk over, and it ain't in a position where they can do it. I tell you, if you've never sat and watched a swarm when you box one up, man, you're missing it. This is one of the better parts of it. This is one of the better parts of beekeeping, swarm catching. We'll check back. You see it's still getting pointier and pointier. Trying to make it where they don't have to fly. They hate to walk down. Ain't that wild? They still ain't dripped, but I'm pretty sure that she's in this box. The way that swarm is hanging, how it gets longer and longer. When I first come up, it was just, they was all up on that branch. On top, they was on top of it, up the branch and all that. And since they've moved down, they climb up to fly off. See that? Pretty sure she's in that box. The way that swarm's getting smaller and smaller. Some of them are taking flight. They ain't gonna drop. They gonna fly up and then fly over and land on that box. I got my chair sitting here. I had me some coffee. I got my trusty old Nature's Image coffee cup out here. Enjoying this. Let's see. Mom's garden, them garlics right there I just showed you. Let me zoom that in. Right there's the garden boxes. A little apiary. This rose is a Sharon bush. It's just starting to show some signs of greening up. You can see the little leaves starting to form on it. And right there's her kitchen door. So, yeah, now I'm sure she's in that box. Look how small that cluster's gotten. Still on that branch, it's getting littler and littler. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this sitting here a little while and let them have the rest of the day. I'll set it on a bench and put a frame of milk larvae in there with them, see if I can't anchor them down. Y'all check back later. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing on these swarm catches, hit the like button. If you really like it, hit the subscribe. We're trying to grow this as a YouTube channel. We just broke 200. That reminds me, if you hadn't signed up, hit the like and subscribe. Like our most recent video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got a brand new stainless steel day dance smoker. We're gonna have a drawing for. I'm gonna try to do that Friday. I'll put an announcement on YouTube about it. So y'all keep following along, and I appreciate you. Remember, buy local, be original in all that you do. God bless you. They finally all dropped off. Well, I'll stick this at the end of the video. Y'all have a good one. God bless y'all.